different place. All he needs is like 5 to 10,000 to move. So I'm still going back and forth with him, but
Okay.
I'm trying to see it, but he really doesn't want to see anybody. So I think AJ has suggested to send him a letter so he can sign all the paperwork and send it back.
Okay. So if he doesn't want to see anybody, how are you going to see the property? Is he going to do a
He,
virtual
he,
tour?
probably, yeah, because, well, picture the guy's like super depressed. He's upside down. He's about to get foreclosed on. He
Okay,
doesn't want to see any people. And
come. No, don't do that. Come on.
they said
Come
that
on.
he said about 50 people called me, and every time they hear something like this, they just
Uh-huh.
hang up on him because it's like they think it's a lost cause.
Well, you can tell him that it's not a lost cause, and you can tell him that you have someone that's interested in buying his property as soon as he
Uh-huh.
finds a sale.
I definitely will. I'm gonna reach out to him again tomorrow because he's home all the time. He's not doing anything. He's disabled. So I'm gonna reach out and maybe I'm gonna try to convince him to see it. Maybe I caught him at a bad day or something like that. So
Even if
that's
you can do a virtual tour, Vlad, get
yeah.
some pictures and then tell him, look, you're ready to make him an offer. You know, ask him when is a good time for you to get together with him and your partners, and we can make him an offer right there on the phone.
Okay. Yeah, but the thing is though, I don't know what to offer him because I don't know how much the bank will discount the lien.
What does he owe on the first?
That's the funny thing. He has it free and clear, and he wanted to sell it. And
Okay.
then when they ran title said, "Well, there's something wrong with the title." They started investigating further, and they saw that a hospital put 700K, lien on it without him even knowing. So
Oh,
All
he's
wow.
right.
calling the hospital, and the hospital is like, "Hey, listen, now you got to talk to my collector. To my debt collector wouldn't want anything to do with you."
So,
So
Vlad, there's two ways we can fix this. If you give me a call off the air, I can show you one. And the other way that we can fix this, if he has not filed bankruptcy, he can file bankruptcy and the hospital lien is gone.
okay, I don't think he filed yet. I don't think he filed
If he files
bankruptcy.
bankruptcy, the
Yeah,
hospital lien is gone.
right, but his credit will be destroyed, and he has nowhere to live, so he doesn't want that.
But isn't his credit destroyed now with that lien on it?
Well, yeah, that's a good question. I gotta ask him.
Yes, correct. You're
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
right.
probably true.
The other way that we can take care of this, Vlad, is that we can have the lien released from the house
Uh-huh.
by working out a payment schedule with the bank, and then basically he can say, okay, if it's 700,000, do you know why it's 700,000?
Do I know he said he had this extensive back surgery and leg surgery, and he thought it was all paid for, and he went for like rehab and stuff like that. It was
Okay.
like a long story. The guy's basically all broken.
Oh,
All right.
wow.
So then we can write a letter to the whoever has the lien on it and tell them that we're about to file bankruptcy. This guy is not going to be able to repay, and ask if they can work out a payment schedule so they can probably get $300,000. And if
Right.
they get $300,000, do we know what the house is worth?
Uh, we estimate it's actually anywhere from 220 to 250.
Wow.
Without knowing on the inside, it's
Okay.
it's a tough case. It's like, so we have to be maybe at 150 for the lien in
Uh-huh.
order for us to even do something. Even if we're not gonna make much money, we can help the guy if his
Yeah.
story is true.
Yeah. So basically, I just gave you three ways you can get this thing done. One, you can get the lien released from the house, all right, and then work out a payment plan so he makes the payments. Two, he can file bankruptcy, and if he file bankruptcy, the lien is gone,
Yeah.
all right. And three, basically, he can just tell the bank that he's not going to be able to pay, and you know basically either they basically release it or nothing happens.
Gotcha. I'll present those options to him tomorrow.
Yeah, and then come in if you want to sit down with AJ. AJ can actually give you some more information, and we can get that done for you.
Okay.
All right, keep up the
Yeah.
good, keep up the calling, man. You're doing good.
Yeah. Yeah, I called a lot today. Your dialer is good.
Awesome. Tyler, what do you got going on?
Yeah, okay, yeah, starting with that. So I followed up with somebody who I had a conversation with yesterday. He has a property that's a knockdown. He's asking for 500K and worth within 900K, close to within a million. The only thing is, when I finally got a hold of him again today, now all of a sudden it's under contract with a developer. Like
Okay.
that's basically what he told me today, even though I had a whole conversation with him yesterday.
Okay.
Um, I had another conversation today with this guy. His property is already in foreclosure, and apparently he's in your system already. So it was kind of strange how I was able to have a whole conversation with him, but uh, further investigation is pending with that. But I don't have anything to do with it. And lastly, today, I had a very brief conversation with this very annoying lady. Her attitude was absolutely ridiculous. No, I'm so serious. Yeah, she was a sister, so she was not beat for me calling. I can tell that she's received calls like this before.
Okay.
She before I could hang like before she just blatantly hung up on me. She was like 500K, nothing less.
Oh
I
wow!
researched
Boy.
her property on Zillow, and she was off by nearly $100,000. And of course, that doesn't even factor in repairs.
So send her a contract for 500K, Tyler.
Send her a contract.
Send her a contract for 500K.
All right, I'll keep that in mind for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because if the house is not worth 500K and you get an appraisal done, you can't get money for a house that's not worth what they're asking for. So if you put it on the contract, you actually have a contract on a property and you put it on the contract for 90 days, then what? Okay, you have 90 days to get it sold or work out an agreeable price that you can buy it at and make a profit.
Got it. Yeah, I felt like with her in particular, I wish I still had my PropStream account just to meet her where she was at, and
Okay.
then just let her know what was really going on. First, I wanted to confirm it because I'm working off of a pre-foreclosure list, so I wanted to be able to confirm, what I could with what's going on with her house regarding that, so that way I could have had a better. I felt like I could have been able to match her energy, just to kind of let her know really just let her know at all. She even gave me the opportunity of like just why I was even calling her in the first place. I'm sure I'm sure yes, she's had other calls like that before, but at the same time, like I want to be able to explain to her like, hey, you're in pre-foreclosure, depending on how bad it is. I wanted to be able to confirm that and then be able to build from there. But her attitude was just absolutely atrocious.
Then you know what, Tyler? We have a rule. We only work with people who want to work with us.
Yep.
So if she feels resistant and she's acting resistant, no problem. Is it okay I follow up with you in 2 weeks? Is it okay I follow up with you in a month? If anything changes, here's my phone number. Please give me a call. Have yourself a blessed day. On to the next.
Yes, sir.
And that's it. We don't need these people. We want to help these people.
Right.
And we want to help them to basically, get out of the situation they're in. And at the same time, we will make a profit.
Yeah. Get out of the situation. You don't want it. You don't want it.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. So tonight I'm going to share some stuff with you, and if you have a pen, you can take some notes. So, does everyone have access to the Dropbox with, our documents, our purchase and sales agreement, our contract, and all those documents?
No, sir. Dropbox.
Yes.
All right. Sean, please reach out to AJ or Mike. They can give you access to it
Okay,
if you're
sir.
a part of the program. And it all depends on, where you are in the program.
Mm-hmm.
So, there are different tiers in our program. So you can talk to Mike and he can give you the details.
Okay.
All right. So there are certain things like when you go talk to a seller, you make a call, and after you make the call, then you're basically going to set the appointment. And when you set the appointment, you're going to go out and meet with them. As some of you are in the stage where you're going out with one of us, AJ, myself, Chuck, to sit down with these sellers so you can hear us talk to them. You're eventually going to mirror what we say. Okay. You're going to basically copy what we say, because then, you can use those same terms and reach the individuals.
Okay.
So the first thing you may basically want to get them to sign is a purchase and sales agreement. Okay. We say purchase and sales agreement because it seems more comfortable than saying, can you sign this contract? Okay. If you tell them, can you sign this contract, they may get offensive and say, I want to have my attorney review it. But if you say, can you sign this purchase and sales agreement, it basically allows me to, put your house under contract, resell it, and make a profit, because that's what your intention is. Your intention is to purchase the property, put it under contract, and resell it for profit. You're not going to, if you're going to buy it and hold it, you could do that as well too. But it allows you to do anything you need to do with that contract. Okay. And it's less, bold to say purchase and sales agreement than say contract. All right.
Okay.
Now, when you are talking to someone and you have the purchase and sales agreement in front of them, and you're going to have many of the documents, there's about 18 different documents that they're going to have to put their signature on. They're going to have to put their mark on. They're going to have to okay. So they're going to have to fill out. So instead of telling them, can you sign here, sign here, sign here, I'm going to say, can you okay this document? The same purchase and sales agreement we're talking about, the same authorization to release information we're talking about. Can you okay this document? Can you, put your mark on this document? Because the authorization to release information is going to allow you to contact the bank on their behalf. You're going to talk to the mortgage department. You're going to ask the mortgage department for what we call a payoff. And what that payoff does is basically tells you what the balance on their loan is. If they don't have a loan, and like in Sean's situation where it's free and clear, you're okay. You don't have to worry about it. All you need is what's called a title search. And the title search will tell you if the loan was paid off, if a release was recorded, because the loan can be paid off, but if the release is not recorded, it still shows outstanding.
Okay.
And, we don't, if it shows outstanding, we got to get that release recorded so that then when the new buyer buys it, they're not paying off the lien twice. Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
So does anyone have any questions about how we present a contract, or, what we say when we're getting them signed?
All right, so can you okay this document? Can you put your mark?
One.
I just have a quick question.
Go right ahead.
So the two phrases that you mentioned, can you okay this document? Can you put your mark on this document? They can be said interchangeably.
Yes, they can.
Okay.
You can use one or the other, or you can use them during your whole conversation. Because as I said, there are going to be a total of about 19 documents they're going to have to okay. And if I came and sat with you, Tyler, and I said, okay, can you sign this document? What's the first thing that's going to come to your mind? What is it?
Yeah, I'll be pretty hesitant. I'll start asking questions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially if it's just nothing but words and jargon.
Yeah. Okay. So after you present them the purchase and sales agreement and the authorization to release information, and you explain to them what they're for, okay, there's another document that you're going to have them okay. It's called the power of attorney. Now, we have two different power of attorneys. Okay. The first power of attorney allows me to close on their behalf in the event that they are not present. In the event that they are not here, they're not able to show up to the closing, that power of attorney allows me to close on their behalf. So just like how you say, can you put your mark on the purchase and sales agreement? Can you okay this document? You're going to ask them the same thing. Can you okay this document? And you say, can you okay this power of attorney? Okay. And the second power of attorney, all right, allows you to talk to the bank and complete their financial interview and any other interview for them. So you would send that one to the bank, and the bank will basically, allow you to speak on their behalf, because your name will be filled in as not only their proxy, but the individual that's basically, moving forward as them and care of them. But, if I went to someone and I said, okay, can you sign this power of attorney? They're going to get, worried. They're going to say, okay, why am I signing a power of attorney to you? The power of attorney is only for that house. Okay. So instead of saying power of attorney, you're going to say, can you okay this document that will allow me to close on your behalf?
Okay.
Can you okay this document that will allow me to close on your behalf? Can you okay this document that will allow me to do your financial interview with the bank? Because that's the only two things the document will do for you. And as I said earlier, there are two different power of attorneys.
Can you repeat the second sentence for the bank?
Can you okay this document that will allow me to do your financial interview on your behalf?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So then you're going to sit with these people. And as we know, they're 30, 60, 90 days behind on their house. Some people may be even 18 months behind on their house. So you're also going to get them to sign what we call a deed. Okay. But you say deed, people get worried. So instead of saying deed, okay, you're going to say, can you okay this document that will allow me to take title to the property or transfer title to the property to whatever LLC you're going to buy it in? So will you okay this document that will allow me to take title or transfer title to Sean, Vlad, or Tyler's LLC? So when we say that you can literally go sit with somebody and you can literally buy their house the time you go sit with them, yes, you can, because you have all the documentation in front of you to do so. Okay.
Rewind the the part with the deed for me, I didn't really get that one altogether.
Okay. Can you please okay this document that will allow me to take or transfer title to Sean's LLC? So instead of Sean, put whatever the name of your LLC is right there. Okay.
Okay.
So when you go buy your first house, you're gonna be so excited. You're gonna be so happy when they are signing your documents. And some people may even ask you, okay, will this work? Can you promise me this will work? And the truth is, we can't promise anyone anything. Okay. We can only tell them we will put our heart and everything into getting it done. Okay. But if we can't promise them 100% that it's going to work, because we're working with deadlines. Okay. The deadline we have is the sheriff's sale. And, based on their cooperation with you, okay, based on their, help with you, they're going to have to get you documents. They're going to have to get you their bank statements. They're going to have to get you their pay stubs. They're going to have to get you a hardship letter and their tax returns. All those documents are going to be needed in order for us to do the short sale for them. Okay. And, once we get all those documents and we submit it to the bank themselves are going to ask for more documentation, and then we have to get that to them. So as long as they work with us and they're compliant with us, yes, it'll get done in a timely fashion. But the only constant that we can control is them. So the only promise that you can make them is the promise that you will put your all into it. Yeah. And, as long as they work with you, you would do your best to get it done. All right. So we don't make promises to anyone.
Got it.
Okay.
Guaranteed.
So there are other documents that you will have to get signed. There's one called an escrow letter. This is what I call a happy letter. And what I'd say is this document allows me to take the money you have in escrow and apply it to your principal. This document allows me to take the money you have in escrow and apply it to your principal. So for example, let's say they are behind 3 payments. All right. And they have $4,000 in their escrow account. Okay. That escrow letter would allow us to take that escrow money and apply it to their principal, so that if it's 4 payments behind, whatever the payments are, let's say the payments are $1,000, they will basically take that $3,000, pay it to bring it current, and then there's $1,000 still left in escrow. And in many different cases, let's say you purchased the house, okay, and there's still money left in escrow after you purchase in the house. Sometimes what would happen is the balance of the escrow would go to your company's address because you already paid off the house and there's an overage in escrow. So it can work both ways. Does anyone have any questions thus far?
Yeah, I have a quick question. It has nothing to do with what you said now, but before you were speaking with somebody and they said that this mean lady said, my house is, buy it for $500K.
Yeah.
If it doesn't worth $500K,
it was not worth 500K. It was
Right.
barely worth
What's the
400.
reasoning for sending her the contract if you're not gonna buy it for 500K?
The reasoning for sending her the contract is so that we can get the house under contract for at least 90 days. So we have an equitable interest in the property, and then we can start negotiations. If your house is not worth 500K, I cannot get a mortgage for 500K. I cannot get a loan for 500K. So if you want to come down to earth and be realistic now, we can negotiate. But you can't sell it to anybody else. You can't market to anybody else. Come deal with me.
Huh, that's interesting. Now, the
Yeah.
reason why I ask is because I call a lot and I also use text messaging service, and I get those all the time. Like,
Okay.
like just today, I spoke with, I don't know, at least 10 people that were like,
Uh-huh.
"Hey, listen, give me a price," and they just call up a price 100K over, even I don't know, 200 over, and
You
I'm
have
like,
PropStream?
"I'm sorry."
You have PropStream?
I do have PropStream, yeah.
All right. Use PropStream and take away 35% off the PropStream value and
Right.
send them that as your offer.
Yes.
35% of the PropStream
That's
value.
Yes.
what I wish I had. That's almost exactly what I would have did.
How do you figure that price? How do you figure that number?
PropStream usually gives you market value. You want to buy it below market value because as an investor, you either want to wholesale it or you want to buy it yourself. So if you take off 35% off the market value, you can easily wholesale it.
Okay, so that's pretty much like a quick way of determining a price pretty much on anything, kinda.
Yes. Other than that, you can use the MLS.
Right. Well, I am a realtor in New Jersey, so I do have
Okay.
access to it.
So you can use the MLS and get comms from the MLS. But we really don't do that. If we
Right.
talk to somebody and they say, okay, they want to meet with us, I'm gonna go meet with them today.
Okay.
I'm gonna find out what their motivation is. And after I find out what their motivation is, if I can help them solve that motivation by whatever way I can, I'm
Yeah.
gonna do it for them.
Okay. No, it was just very weird. I do get a
Yeah.
lot of them. Like today, I called a lot of people. I even used my own lists to
Uh-huh.
dial out. I think I called maybe 400 people at least.
Okay.
Your dialer is awesome, by the way.
Awesome.
Very, I love it. But they all be like, oh, 150 over normal price. And even like I quickly click on the Zestimate,
Uh-huh.
even though it's complete crap, I know.
Correct.
Yeah,
I
that's
click
not.
on it. At least I'll get some sort of like an idea because I, I I I usually say, hey, listen, I don't have my resources in front of me. Let me get back to you in maybe a day. Let me run some numbers so I can come back, with an accurate number. How does that sound?
Okay.
And they're actually okay with that. And I call them back and we talk a little more. I build rapport. But it's really a cool point that you told me about 35% of prop stream value. I haven't even thought about, it's a quick way of, you know,
If
Uh,
you do that and you send out probably 10 offers a day, you'll have one person that say yes and call you back, and you'll just have to use either hard money
yeah,
or use what we call an assignment of contract and assign the contract to somebody else, which is still wholesaling.
right, of course. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm gonna start doing that because that was my biggest question. I don't want to lose or miss a deal,
Uh-huh.
even if it's, I guess, not a deal. We can make it a deal.
Exactly. Because all these lists that you were calling, give me a second, Tyler. All
okay.
these lists that you were calling are people who are 30, 60, maybe even 9 months behind on their payments that
Oh
we give
wow,
you. All right. So because they are behind, we can always discount the second or discount the first
right.
to basically get the numbers that we want.
Gotcha. No, I already finished all your lists, and
Okay.
I uploaded my own lists
Okay.
because, like for example, tired landlords, empty nesters, things like that. Like senior with high equity, low equity, stuff like that. So I have about like 8,000 to go through.
Wow, awesome.
Oh,
It actually, like I said, within I that's what I thought. I'm like, I'll never get through them. But
Uh-huh.
after finishing calling for 4 hours today, or maybe five, I went through 400. So
Nice.
it's going pretty quickly because it's dialing like 5 lines simultaneously.
Oh
Correct.
wow. Oh
Yeah,
wow.
All right. Tyler?
yeah,
I was just gonna piggyback off of what, well, actually, one or two things off of what Vlad said. PropStream used to do. They used to have MLS data on there, but they actually recently took it off. The only reason why I say it still helps because I noticed that even when they did have MLS data, it was still duplicate from public records, which I'm sure they didn't take off just yet.
Okay.
So either way, that information should, whatever information that PropStream gives, as far as like the values is based on public records, it should still be valid. I don't think they went. I know it's like I said, it's been a while since I used my PropStream account. I actually would love to reactivate it, but I know the last time that I did use it, I have to be mindful for the fact that there were duplicates of MLS data and public records, and the only thing that was different were the dates
yeah,
they were filed.
yeah. There is
Okay.
no more MLS data in PropStream.
Yeah,
Uh,
but I'm pretty sure the public records that they do still have, it's most likely still the same thing.
yeah, yeah,
All right. So getting ready for your appointment. So you make the calls, you go out there and you schedule the appointment. I know Sean has gone on one appointment with AJ.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
pretty soon, Vlad and Tyler, when you guys get people who want to come out for you to come out and see them, you would either go out with AJ, Chuck, or myself. All right. So, getting ready for the appointment, there are 3 documents that you want to bring with you, and they are available on the Dropbox. The first one is a standard purchase and sales agreement, because that's what's going to basically allow you to purchase the property and give you the right to resell the property.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The next document you're going to want to bring with you is going to be an authorization to release information. And that authorization to release information would allow you, depending on if like you have a free and clear property, you're not going to really need to talk to a bank. You're going to need to talk to the title company. You're going to need to talk to the title company to run title to see if, there's any other liens other than the mortgage that was on it. Maybe the mortgage is free and clear, but like you have a medical bill, okay, you may need to talk to that medical company on the behalf of the seller to see, are they willing to accept a payment plan? Are they willing to release it from the house? And so that the homeowner can pay it at a different, situation because it's his lien. Okay, so that the house can be sold. And when the house is sold, let's say the house is only worth, you said 250.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's say the house is only worth 250. If you sell the house for 225 and he gets 225, he'll basically probably pay them $100,000 and use the rest to get a new place. So there's other creative ways that you can get a mechanic's lien released from the actual property and attached to the individual. AJ can show you how to do that. I can show you how to do that. And that'll make the deal work, but he still would have to make the payment on the side. All right, by giving them basically an astronomical amount of money up front. So you would have your purchase and sales agreement, you would have your authorization, and then you would have what we call a seller's checklist. That is your first appointment. Your first appointment is like you're going out to date somebody. You want to see how they are. You want to basically find out about their situation. You want to find out about, why they got into foreclosure, why they fell behind. And you're going to talk to them. You're going to say, tell me about the house and the situation. And you're going to sit there and be quiet. You're going to sit there and let them talk. They're going to tell you, that they fell behind because they got sick. They fell behind because, they lost their job, or, they have a situation where they had to have surgery, whatever it is. You're going to sit there and, find out more from them. And when you basically find out what their situation is. You're going to ask them, okay, so if I was able to pay off your house, if I was able to cure your foreclosure and help you relocate, would that be something you would like to do? And what are you really doing? All you're really doing is taking what they told you and basically solving their
No
problem.
problem.
Okay. So whatever that problem is, you tell me that, okay, you have a medical bill of $100,000. If I was able to pay your medical bill of $100,000, put some money in your pocket and help you relocate, would that be something you'll be willing to do and move forward? If I was able to buy your house, help you get your child to go to college, okay, would that be something you'll be able to do? Whatever they tell you, you take it and use it and basically to purchase their house. Any questions? Okay. So I'm going to ask you to call me, Vlad.
Okay, sorry.
It's all right.
Okay. Ring ring.
Hello.
Wait, I'm calling you. Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, who is this?
This is Linton.
Why are you calling me, Linton?
It's been brought to my attention that you may have a house that you may be looking to sell or, cure.
Huh? How did you get my number?
Well, it's public information that, it's posted in the courthouse, it's posted online. And I usually buy a list of people who are 30, 60, and 90 days behind on their payments. Is that still the situation with you, Vlad?
Unfortunately, yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about the situation, please?
Well, I couldn't pay off my mortgage, and because I lost my job due to COVID. So, but I know my house is great. It has this great floors and excellent windows and amazing driveway. So I looked it up and I saw the Zillow is telling me 500,000. It's a great house, and I think it should be sold for more.
Did you have COVID or, why did you lose your job because of COVID?
Oh, well, my whole place closed down because of COVID. And
Okay.
the owner died, and the son didn't want to continue with the business, so everybody got let go.
Did you seek other employment?
No, not really. I'm staying on unemployment now, and the unemployment is so low that I cannot afford to pay my mortgage.
All right. What is your intention? Do you plan on staying in the house or do you want to sell?
I wouldn't mind selling if the price is right. But like I
All
said,
right.
it's a beautiful house, and I lived here for 20 years, and my kids grew up here, and I really love this place.
Let me ask you this. What do you owe on the house?
Well, right now I have 300,000, and I have a HELOC on it.
How much is the HELOC?
150.
Okay, so you owe about $450,000. Are you current on your first and your second mortgage?
Well, I forgot the first one. On the second one, yes.
Okay. You don't know if you're current on the first?
Most likely not. I stopped paying a while ago.
What's a while ago? 1 month, 2 months?
I would say 2 to 3 months.
All right. And what's your monthly payment?
Approximately, what is it? So let's say $2,200 or something like that, somewhere around that area.
Okay. So tell me this. What would be the ideal solution for you, Vlad?
My ideal solution is to get what my house is worth, what I
Okay.
think it's worth.
All right. So how would you determine the value of what your house is worth? Because you mentioned $500,000. How do you come up with that value?
Well, I think because my neighbor sold his house for 600,000, but it's not. I understand his house was in perfect condition and mine is not. So I'll give you a little bit of a discount.
Okay, how much of a discount is that?
Well, I think a good discount. If you
Okay.
if you give me 550, I will think about it.
Well, let me ask you this. You said you're behind 3 payments on your first. Are you going to be able to pay that $6,000 that you're behind on the first?
No.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you to go to Google,
Okay.
and I'm going to ask you to look up equity skimming.
Equity what?
Equity skimming.
Okay.
Because you're behind on your first mortgage, if I take money that the bank is supposed to get and give to you, that's literally robbing the bank.
Right. Oh, I
If
see what that
if,
means.
if you are able to pay that $6,000 that you owe the bank, then I may be able to put some money in your pocket. But due to the fact that you're behind, the most I can do for you is, help you relocate by paying your movers. The most I can really do for you is help you relocate by, paying your landlord the first 2 months or the first month in security on the property that you're moving in. I can't literally give you any money. Otherwise,
Hypothetically, I understand. I didn't know about this. So hypothetically, what if I ask my neighbor or borrow $6,000 from him, pay back to be current, pay my arrears
I
to be
have
current?
nothing to do with that, sir. I don't need to know about that.
Oh, okay. So so let's then say I will be able to pay it back.
If you're able to pay it back, I will get an appraisal done on your property, and I will pay you 35% of what the appraisal come in at.
35,
Yes.
but I want 550.
So let's hope your property comes in at 625. I'm an investor, so I'm not going to pay retail for a property. I'm going to be very upfront with you. I'm
Right.
not going to pay retail for a property because in order for me to make money, I need to buy it below market so I can put some work into it and resell it for a profit.
But I have multiple other calls. You're not the only one.
Not a problem, sir. I have a law and a rule. I only work with people who want to work with me. So, if the solution I'm telling you does not work for you, is it okay that I follow up with you in about 30 days to see if you sold your house already?
That would be okay.
All right, sir. Here's my number 123-456. Have a blessed day. If you need anything, you can always call me.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Questions about the call? Go ahead.
I briefly lost where you shifted to just helping him move. What was the caveat that made you make that switch?
I can't give him any money personally because he's behind on his payments. That's illegal.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
obviously committing
stealing
more.
I'm stealing from the bank to give him money that he should pay the bank. Both him and I can go to jail.
Mortgage fraud.
So it's called
Yes.
equity skimming. That's
Yes.
interesting. I
It's
didn't even know
also
about
called
that.
mortgage fraud, like he
Yeah.
just said.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And that's also for short. That's only for short sales. I mean,
Only
for
for short sales. Anyone who's behind on their payments.
gotcha.
Anyone who's behind on their payments, if I take money from the bank or money that should have gone to the bank instead of bringing the bank current and give it to the person, that's illegal.
Okay. And what if there's like a mechanics lien or something? That's okay.
The mechanics lien has to be paid off.
Oh, so that's also a no
Yes,
go.
the mechanics lien has to be paid off or removed.
Gotcha.
Yeah. With your case with the we call it the hospital bill,
Yeah.
the hospital bill can be removed from the house and attached to the individual.
Huh. Interesting.
Yes. So the individual is responsible for it. The house is free. All you need is free title on the house so you can resell the house. Once there's free title, it can be attached to the individual. and the individual is responsible for paying it. So if the house is free and he sells the house for 250, he can give the individual or the hospital 150,000 and take 100,000 and go about himself and do what he's going to do.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay,
Yes.
I see. So, but we would help him negotiate that number because the hospital really doesn't want anything to do with it. He
Well,
doesn't want to
we would negotiate with the hospital for him. Yes.
Oh, okay. And then
We
we
would
would.
talk to the collection company for him. Yes.
Oh, I see. Wow, that's interesting.
I didn't even know medical bills could be attached to a property. I thought that was always to the individual.
Medical bills are considered lien, so yes.
Okay, makes sense.
I can put a lien on anyone's house if they owe me money and I did work for them.
Yep.
And they didn't pay me. As long as I serve them correctly, as long as I notify them correctly, I can file my papers in the courthouse and they have to pay me before they sell the house.
Oh, okay.
Nah, interesting. Yeah, I thought that was just for like mechanical and construction liens or anything of that nature.
But after you send the contract, do you go and cloud the title or you don't even bother?
Well, we didn't get there yet. But you know, on our next live, AJ would pretty much talk more on that. It's called a notice of settlement.
Yeah.
But AJ will talk more about that, and AJ will go into details on what happens next, because all I touched on was basically the first visit. All I touched on is when you go to your first visit, what documents you need with you, and those 3 documents are very pertinent. You need a purchase and sales agreement, an authorization to release information, and a seller's checklist.
I see.
Yeah.
That checklist has a lot of private information in it, like your social security number and tax returns and things like that.
You're going to leave that You're going to leave that document with them, and you're going to say, in order for us to move forward with your short sale or the purchase of your home, we would like you to gather these documents so that we can work with you.
Wow. And have people ever said like, "Hey, listen, that's a lot of like private info. How do you know? How do I know you're not like a thief or you're not gonna like sell my security number or something?"
Nah, no one has really said that to me, but I did get someone who actually gave me their ID, and I brought it back the next day.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you're gonna work with people who know, like, and trust you. And you know, when you go meet the person, you already developed a relationship with them over the phone. So, you know, you've already built rapport over the phone. So when they meet you, it's not like you're meeting them for the first time.
Oh, I see. Okay.
All right. Does anyone have any questions before I end the podcast?
No, not at this moment, sir.
Okay. And you know, if you found this information useful, just reach out to Mike, reach out to AJ, and you know, let them know what you thought about this podcast tonight. And on Tuesday, when AJ comes back on, he will go over some other stuff. The purpose of this is to continue to inform you, to continue to, you know, prepare you for when you actually go out there to actually do the actual events of locking up a house. Okay. You know, Chuck always say, you know, we basically have a ready, fire, aim scenario, because we're not going to do research before we go buy a house. I'll put a house under contract for $500,000 any day, because I know if it's not worth $500,000, I can negotiate that down to $250,000.
Right. But you do that only with foreclosure or with anything?
I'll do that with anything.
Anything, yeah.
Okay.
You have a house you want to sell. What do you want to sell it to me for?
Yeah, well, a lot of them, and a lot of people say, "Hey, listen, there's like a house in Irvington, right?
Okay.
It's a war zone."
Okay.
Yes,
So
it is.
the house is like $80,000, and the person's like, "I want $250,000 for it."
I'll send them a contract in the mail for $40,000.
Oh, okay. Okay. So when they see that, it makes it kind of official, and they most likely will sign it or something.
Yeah,
of course.
if they sign it and they call me back because my number and my business card is in there, we have a deal. If they take it and they get offended, so what? I sent out a contract. I'm
Oh,
creating activity.
wow. That's I never even thought about that. That's really cool. Do you put your personal information on it, or you just basically put their address, their information, and you kind of leave yours blank?
No, I fill out my information. I fill it out like I would if I'm purchasing it. SHB2 LLC, sign it off, put my business card in there, put their name on it, put the purchase price, and if they're ready to move forward, they'll call me back.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So that's an automatic like 35% without even looking on the inside. You don't even know what it looks like on the inside.
I don't care.
You send it regular postal service or
Regular mail. Yep.
okay.
And you said that you're doing the 35% of the value of
Whatever comm service you use, whether it be PropStream, whether it be the MLS, you take 35% of what the market value is. That way you can buy it below market.
Okay. Yeah, because maybe not with that one lady that I had to deal with today, but this maybe somebody else that I spoke with on yesterday. Well, it started off on the phone. Well, not started off. He didn't pick up, but he did text me back. He was saying, "I'm not selling unless you want to offer 750K or more."
No problem.
So
if that's what you want, I'll offer you 750K. Put it on the contract. You have a contract with him. The contract is binding for 90 days. You can go market it for 760K. You have 90 days to do that.
Oh wow, that's Jesus. That's unbelievable.
Yeah. You put it on the contract. You put the time frame of the contract, which I always put 90 days. You could put 365 days if you want, but put 90 days, record your contract. You have 90 days to sell the property or the contract expires.
So you're looking basically for just like end buyer or something. But at the same time, you know what I was thinking? I was thinking of doing something similar, but I'm thinking if you're gonna market all these properties that are above value, wouldn't people think that you don't know what you're doing? Like why would you even present me a house that is worth 50K over its market value?
Well, you wouldn't. You would go back to the seller and say, Mr. Seller, look, we have this house on a contract with you. Based on the current comps and the current market value, your house is only worth this. Can we renegotiate?
And you start that after they sign it?
Yes.
Okay.
Then you get a new contract signed.
Wow.
So it's not, you don't add an amendment. You legit have to write out a full new
contract. Literally get a new contract signed.
Okay.
Wow.
Ready, fire, aim.
You just opened my eyes. No, I mean, really. Like, now I'm gonna rethink my whole strategy.
Yeah, next time I get something like that, I'm gonna be like, okay, I got you.
Come back. Absolutely. I have a print. I got a ream of paper. I'll print those suckers like there's no tomorrow. Send them all out.
Like, yeah, here's what you asked for. Here's 550K.
Yeah.
Right there.
Sure.
Whole time they're gonna be thinking, oh yeah, somebody finally bought my house. Till you call them back and be like, yeah, so based on the recent data, not recent data, but based on research, your house is actually worth this much.
Yes.
250.
How do you handle if they're just like, well, forget it then?
Not a problem. I'm going to market your property for the next 90 days, and if I find someone, great. If I don't, you can pay me to move.
Wait, what? I didn't get that.
Move.
You can pay me to move.
Oh, okay.
To terminate the contract.
That's where your notice of settlement comes in. That's where recording your contract comes in.
Right, that was my question. So, like, if I send 5 of them out and other people come in, I have to cloud the title. So
Well,
other
if you send 5 of them out and one gets signed, you record that signed one,
yeah, of course, absolutely.
and that is clouding the title.
Yeah. I see.
And then that is good. So if they find someone that comes with a higher offer, a better offer, you're in contract with them. They can pay you to move.
Yeah, I see. That's interesting. Okay. Huh. That is awesome.
Any
I
other
feel like
questions, gentlemen?
No, sir.
no,
No,
thank you.
Yeah,
All right.
that's it for me.
So we are here every Tuesday, every Thursday. AJ is on Tuesdays. I'm on Thursdays. I'm going to pretty much talk to you about short sales next week. I'm going to walk you through the process, and it'll probably take 2 sessions for us to do that. And then, if it's something you guys want to personally do, you can. And I'm not sure what AJ is going to touch on Tuesday, but whatever it is, it's going to be exciting. So I thank you for your time, gentlemen. Welcome
Thank you,
to
sir.
Singapore. Have a good night.
Thank
You
you.
too. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome.
All right. All right. Thank you.
My mind blown. Thank you.
You're welcome.
welcome.